You may have seen that the people who distribute the Egg console series of old Japanese computer games for Nintendo Switch have announced that they're delisting the versions of Fray and Brandish Renewal from the Switch eShop. Apparently because they have a version of MS-DOS that they boot off of, and somebody still cares about that. But if you act quickly, you can still get these off the US Switch eShop. So what exactly are these games, and are they worth your time? Brandish Renewal is a top-down action RPG. This is the PC98 version. It also did get an English release for the SNES. And you should probably just play that version instead if you're really interested in Brandish. But if you're really, really interested in Brandish, you could go ahead and get this version. Some pretty nice sprite art in the opening, but the main gameplay looks more like this. Seems sort of like a normal game until you turn, and then the whole screen rotates. It's a little unexpected at first. It takes a little bit of getting used to if you're not familiar with this game. And you know, this is basically Wizardry. I've been playing the Wizardry remake a lot lately, and I'm slowly becoming Wizardry pilled. Game is basically Wizardry, but they took the same thing as Wizardry, and now you've got a top-down perspective. Another important thing to note is that even though there is a nice translated version of the manual and quick how-to guide, none of the in-game text is translated. So if you're not familiar with Japanese, you're going to have a difficult time. The other game about to be delisted is Fray, a spin-off of the Zack series of RPGs. This is also kind of an RPG, but it also combines almost shooter elements, and it's combat. It's kind of a unique game. There's not really a whole lot that's like it. This did get a Game Gear port that kind of distilled it down even more to a shooter. Basement Brothers has a good video about this. Originally started out on the MSX2. This is the PC98 version here, which is probably one of the better ports of it. After a fairly substantial animated intro with some PC98 voice samples, you get into the main game and quickly hit a disc flip, after which you can get right into the action of Fray, wandering around the overworld and fighting enemies with your shooter-like abilities. There is a fan translation of the MSX2 version, so you may want to play that first if you don't speak Japanese. The Game Gear version is pretty accessible as well, even if it's not quite the same game. Overall, unless you're a hardcore Zack fanatic, you can probably skip this one. It may sound like I'm down on these games, but I actually love that these are available at all on the Switch, because this is probably the easiest way to play these games in years. It almost seems ridiculous that these games would be pulled for having MS-DOS when Microsoft themselves now release MS-DOS under an open license. Hopefully the other Egg console games are safe, because I doubt I'll have any chance to play these on a real PC98 anytime soon.